The following contest is a submission match. On the way to the ring, from Boise, Idaho, Torrie Wilson. And the opponent, from Los Angeles, California, Melina.
Welcome to Raw, coming to you from the land of the Razorbacks, Little Rock, Arkansas. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
Little Rock can't wait to see the Raw Superstars. This show's been sold out for weeks.
These Little Rock fans know that Raw never disappoints, and tonight is no exception. I can't wait to get started.
I'll tell you what, that Torrie Wilson is one sweet little tomato.
You call her that because your face gets all red whenever you see her?
My face only gets red when I'm trying to keep myself from throttling you whenever you say something stupid.
Oh boy, the adrenaline is pumping. I think this could be the beginning of the end.
No, it can't end like this. Come on, do something, quick! Boy, Melina's one of those divas you just can't take your eyes off of, JR.
You certainly can't, especially if you're the referee. You know it's only a matter of time before this Jezebel tries to take advantage in this matchup.
You say that like it's a bad thing, JR. I wouldn't mind if she tried to take advantage of me.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
Look at this! Look at this! You talk about a house of fire, you're seeing it right here!
Yeah? Well, somebody better put out that fire, or this one's not gonna end well.
Torrie Wilson, of course, has appeared on the cover of Playboy magazine not once, but twice. I'm sure you've picked up your issues.
Absolutely. But I just read them for the articles. And let me tell you, Torrie's got some beautiful articles in there.
Melina's such an amazing young talent, and what a rack. What a great addition she would be to the Women's Championship picture.
I can't imagine there are many things you could add Melina to that wouldn't make them better, JR. I can think of one or two right off the top of my head.
Yeah, and if I know you, King, you better keep them to yourself. This is a family program, you know.
After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure, King. The WWE superstars are trained professionals.
And even they don't walk away from every match in the best shape.
They sure don't. We've seen more than one superstar taken out of here on a stretcher.
I think the end is near, JR.
This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this.
Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary?
Well, all I can say is someone's been eating their vitamins and saying their prayers. This match is going to continue until someone's completely debilitated. And considering the resiliency of these superstars, that's not going to be easy.
That's for sure. No one in this match is going down without a fight.
And I wouldn't expect any less from them, King. Like them or not, you've got to respect the tenacity of each and every WWE superstar. What an incredible performance by these phenomenal superstars.
Did you expect anything less, JR? I mean, look who's in the ring right now.
No, I didn't, King. I had high expectations, and I'm happy to say that this match has exceeded them all. Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even have to guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way! I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell. These superstars are going to put each other through. She's got her opponent in position, and I think we know where this is going.
We sure do, JR. There's that signature face buster of hers. Boy, I'll tell you, that Torrie Wilson is one hot mamacita.
Well, I'm glad to see those.
What's she gonna do here, JR?
She just nailed her opponent with that face buster.
A woman like Melina's nothing but trouble, JR, but I think she might just be the trouble I've been looking for.
You and half the fans in this arena, King. Melina certainly has no shortage of admirers, that's for sure.
You can look at any professional sport you want, JR, and you won't find more incredible athletes than the WWE superstars.
You're not wrong, King. They compete every week until they are physically incapable of continuing. There's no off-season in the WWE.
We're not talking about running a ball down a field or slapping a puck into a net. This is serious physical competition.
It sure is. The toughest athletes in the world are on the WWE roster, and that's a fact.
I don't think these superstars have any intention of taking it easy on each other tonight.
That's not what they signed up for, King. And quite frankly, I think these fans will be, oh boy, of all the things that can happen to you in a ring, that's got to be one of the most painful.
No kidding, JR. That's some very delicate equipment down there.
Oh man, this is an excruciating but effective method of winning a match.
Yeah, and it's a surefire method of birth control, too. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's gonna go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say.
Oh, Torrie Wilson looks as lovely as ever, as if that's a surprise.
Looking at bodacious Torrie Wilson reminds me of something an old buddy of mine used to say. She's got legs all the way up to her.
All right. Simmer down there, partner.
Are you blushing? Look at you. You're blushing.
You gotta respect the commitment and dedication of these superstars to their careers.
No question about it, King. Every superstar on the roster has had to make more sacrifices than any other professional athlete I know.
It really is like being married to your career. There's not much room for anything else.
And marriage is a subject which you happen to be something of an authority. Isn't that right, King?
Come on now, JR. A man doesn't know what true happiness is until he's married. And then it's too late.
You've got to be in seventh heaven, Kingfish. It's not often we get to see Melina in action like this.
You know it, JR. I could never get enough of Melina, but I'd like to try. So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King.
There's the reversal! I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is settled once and for all. I'll tell you what, King, the WWE superstars are about the greatest athletes you'll find in any sport here. Oh, man, I think we're about to see a high-risk move here.
I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they haven't. That's not the kind of attitude you come in with and expect to pick up the win.
You're right about that, JR. If you can't see yourself having your arm raised by the referee when it's over, don't bother showing up. Oh no, I think she's going in for the kill.
And there was no way her opponent could get away from that face buster.
These superstars are beating the heck out of each other, and this crowd can't get enough of it.
It's what they paid to see. Straddling that ring rope has got to be just about the most uncomfortable thing a human being can endure.
No kidding, JR. That's worse than an all-day donkey ride. Ouch! Now there's a move that'll take the fight right out of you, JR.
Well, it's certainly not the most technical of moves, but I can't say that it's not effective.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths are going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the limber tape.
All right, enough! I'm getting a translator before I have to come out here with you again. I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's gonna go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that that would be no easy feat. These fans can't get enough of Torrie Wilson. You're putting a lot on the line when you climb that turnbuckle. It's an unusual. This is a risky move. It could prove to be disastrous.
I think I see where this one's going, JR. I don't think we're very far from the end of the match.
I disagree entirely, King. I bet my Oklahoma Sooner ass that this one isn't even close to being over.
That's a pretty big bet, JR. Are you sure you're able to cover it?
I tell you, King, I've got no earthly idea how these superstars can maintain this intensity week after week after week.
It's not easy, JR. There's no off season. It's not like you've got 6 months to recover after WrestleMania.
That's for damn sure. And that's why I don't think there can be any doubt in anyone's mind that the superstars of the WWE are the greatest athletes in the world. There's no room for error when you're on the top rope.
Oh boy, this looks like an all-or-nothing move. I think someone's going for a high-risk move, JR.
I've got a feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas, JR.
Well, I did have some good old Oklahoma barbecue before tonight's show, but I don't think that's it.
Climbing up the turnbuckle isn't bad. It's all the ways you could come down that hurt. The intensity of these superstars is unbelievable.
No doubt about that, King. The fans are getting their money. These top rope moves are always difference makers, for better or worse.
You think these fans have gotten their money's worth tonight, JR?
If they haven't yet, I'm sure they're going to by the end of this match.
Well, I don't say this too often, but I completely agree with you.
I'll be honest with you, King. This is not the way I thought this match would go at all.
Me neither, JR. I guess
That's a short climb, but a potentially long fall.
Can you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except when I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the divas.
Come on, JR. You know I'm helpless when it comes to puppies.
Oh, I know, King. And that's why I'm bringing a pitcher of ice water out here with me next time. I'm sure these competitors have studied each other very carefully.
This match would be over by now if they hadn't, JR. You never get into the ring without doing your homework.
That would be a recipe for disaster for sure, King.
I tell you, JR, this one has the potential to be a match of the year candidate.
No doubt about it, King. As far as I'm concerned, any WWE match has that potential. Everyone on the roster is an accomplished wrestler.
These superstars are going to tear each other apart.
That's exactly what the fans paid to see, King, and they're not going to go home disappointed.
I feel so lucky that I'm actually getting to see these superstars wrestle each other.
Me too, King. This one has the potential to become an instant classic. And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
I wonder if SmackDown's going to have anything nearly this good next Friday.
I think we both know the answer to that one, King. How could they compete in a match like this?
Oh boy, you might want to close your eyes, JR. This one could get ugly.
You're damn right it could. It could get bowling shoe ugly. And that's what this business is all about. It's not ballet, you know.
I thought I'd pick the winner before the match started, JR, but now I'm having second thoughts.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, King. Usually I wonder if you've even had first thoughts. I'm not so sure this one's about winning or losing anymore. I think it's become more personal than that.
Of course it's personal, JR. Anytime you step into the ring with someone who wants to beat you down in order to win the match, it's personal.
I guess I can't argue with that, King. I just wonder if they'll be able to settle their differences in this match, or if it's going to wind up bigger than that. you've got to ask yourself, how much punishment will these superstars be able to withstand tonight?
I don't know, JR, but I think they're pretty intent on finding out.
They certainly are. I don't know how it's going to end, but I can guarantee you they're going to leave it all in the ring.
These superstars are at the top of their game, JR. They make it look so easy.
They sure do. You almost forget about the years of training and sacrifice that went into their careers.
I talked to these superstars backstage before the match, and I don't think I've ever seen competitors so ready to get it on.
And that's...
Oh boy, these top rope moves can go either way. I can't... Looks like someone's heading for the high rent district. I think these superstars have a legitimate beef with each other, JR.
So do I, King. I'm not so sure their issues with each other are going to be solved with one match.
I hope not. I'd love to see them go at it again and again.
This capacity crowd is making their opinions known tonight.
They sure are, JR, and I love to hear it. Remind me to never try and step between these guys, JR.
That would be hazardous to your health for sure, King. I think she's looking to end this one, King.
Oh, no! There's the face buster! Face first! I don't think there's going to be anything left of these superstars by the time they're done.
There may not be, King. They may well annihilate each other here tonight.
Here's your winner, Melina.